This video is on negative exponents. This will help you with this assignment worksheet number 3, which is the watermelon icon. And so here we go, negative exponents. We touched on it briefly in the previous video, but we'll talk about it again. Simplify, right, with positive exponents. So if you can solve all of these, I want you to give it a shot. I want you to give it a shot and move on to the watermelon worksheet. And if you have issues, then here we are. Anything raised to the 0 power, we said, was 1. Okay? Anything raised to the 0 power except 0 is 1. 663 degrees is also 1. And the variable x to the 0 power is also 1. 16x to the 0 power. Now this gets a little trickier. Now we have this 16 out in front. 16 is not raised to the x power. That's 16 to the 1 power, but you never see numbers that are written to the first power with the exponent there. You just see the number 16. But what's really going on in the background there is 16 to the first power. So we say that 16 to the first power is 16. But we know that x to the 0 power is 1. And the operation taking place in between 16 and x to the 0 power is multiplication. So this is 16 times 1, which results in 16. So that's tricky anytime you have a number out in front. If you take a look at number 5, you have 16y to the second power and then a to the 0 power. 16 again raised to the first power, so we can simply write that out. 16 times y squared. Nothing to do with y squared. And then we have this a to the 0 power. Well, anything raised to the 0 power, we said, was 1. So we'll multiply that by 1, which will result in 16y squared. So notice these relationships here. Just because we have something raised to the 0 power, that doesn't make the entire expression equal to 1. So be very careful moving forward. Continuing on here, at number 6, we have our first negative exponent of this set of lessons. So 10 to the negative 1 is, if you remember for the other video, 1 divided by 10 to the positive 1, which is simply 1 over 10. And this goes back to our definition right here. Anything raised to the negative 1 power is 1 divided by that base raised to the positive exponent. In this example, negative 1. If you look here, it's not always going to be 1 over x. You can have a higher, or excuse me, in this case, a lower exponent. For example, 3 to the negative 2 power simply means 1 divided by 3 to the now positive 2 power. So 1 over 3 to the positive 2 power, which makes 9. So this is 1 over 9. But notice the difference here, guys. 3 to the second power is 9. 3 to the negative 2 is 1 over 9. So from the previous video, we also talked about that. Like I was saying before, x to the negative 1 is 1 over x to the positive 1. In this example, 1 over a to the now positive 2. So you can hopefully see the relationship going on between these two properties, definitions. Okay. Moving on, these get a little tougher now. Number 8, 8x to the negative 6 power times y to the third power. Well, if you think about rewriting all of these with positive exponents, the only one we are concerned with here is this middle term, x to the negative 6 power. And if you were to come over here and simplify x to the negative 6 by itself, all alone, what you would see is an answer of 1 divided by x to the 6 power. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy down 8 to the 1 power, and then x to the negative 6, we're going to rewrite that as 1 over x to the 6 power, and then y to the third power we will keep there. Now, it doesn't look really nice, does it? We need to clean it up a bit. So what we'll do is we'll take this x to the 6th power, and because there's a 1 on top, we'll treat all of these like fractions, and the only thing that's on the top or excuse me, the only thing that's on the bottom now is that x to the 6th power because it resulted in a negative exponent, so we have to bring it down. What we could do now is keep the 8 and the y to the 3rd power on top. So this would be your final answer. Why is it your final answer? Because there aren't any negative exponents. All right, let's try this one. The only difference is what? The x to the negative 6th power, number 8, now becomes positive 6, and the y to the 3rd power now is y to the negative 3 power. So just like the one before, if we think about y to the negative 3 by itself, that's 1 divided by y to the positive 3rd power. So let's put all of this over 1. And now rewriting y to the negative 3, we can say that 8 x to the 6th remains on the top because both of these have positive exponents. If you have a positive exponent, you stay put, but this guy has a negative exponent. We will drop that into our denominator like we did here. And so our final answer is 8x to the 6th power divided by y to the 3rd power. So see the relationships between the two. All right, go ahead and attempt the watermelon worksheet number 3.